we did it.
What's up? We did it. Okay, let's give everybody like.
Oh, I could have also logged in from my GLAMNETIC account too.
Oh, there's filters.
Hey, Lene.
Okay, let's do a small glow.
She's a big GLAMNETIC customer.
Oh, amazing.
Hey, Becky.
Like, I feel like I need a pillow. Okay, hold on.
Hey, Megan.
Okay, waiting for everyone to log in.
Hello, hello.
What up, Anne? Anne Guzman.
Rep LA, Rep LA. Wow, LA people. Colorado. London. Okay.
Oh,
SoCal. Hey, Ben.
Are you
UK.
UK?
Just waiting first. We can also log into the GLAMNETIC account too. I don't know if we want to talk on there or.
Up to you. Up to you. I feel like you should talk on you, and then though, you know, because they want a little personal with Anne McFerran for a second here.
Let's log into my GLAMNETIC account. I think it'll be more fun.
More fun? Okay. All right. You just request and come right back. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go live one more time, I think, right?
So you could say I'll go on the GLAMNETIC account.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, GLAMNETIC is coming. What up, GLAMNETIC?
Hey.
I'm gonna give it a little bit more time to populate.
Hannah's so funny. Katrina, hey. Hey, Joanne. Hey, Donna. Thanks, girl.
Hey, Anne, how do you pin a comment?
What was that? I don't think you can. I think there's like a questions feature and people can ask questions. But yeah, we can do that for later. So we're having this conversation because my Wi-Fi bugged out on rare day.
Yeah, Wi-Fi was not playing nice on a rare day.
Yeah. So. Why don't you tell them what a rare day is for the viewers on my channel?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna give it one more minute.
We're also recording on Zoom as well.
Yes, we are.
Oh, I am wearing OMG. Lash that OMG.
I'm also wearing a half lash. Can you tell from here what it is?
I am actually so proud of Vannga because she never has been able to put on lashes. Like
it was just beyond me, and honestly I still couldn't put them on, and I would like hang out with Anne and she'd be like plop like from like a mile away and they would just like go on for me. But it wasn't until you guys got the half lashes that I was like, oh, this is my new life. I can actually have lashes.
Yeah, she wasn't able to put on the full strip, but she was able to do the half because it's just like a little tap. You don't have to be perfect. So for those guys who know how to apply our full strip lash, half lashes are the way to go.
Yeah, they're so easy to put on, I have to say. So I'm now trending with you guys. So I'm in the community now.
Okay, guys, comment where you guys are from before we get started on this interview. This is the first time we've actually done like an entrepreneurship interview on the GLAMNETIC live channel. So this should be exciting.
I didn't know that. Yeah, this is our first live on the Be Rare Foundation as well. So perfect.
Oh.
Okay, 2:05. I think we're gonna get started. So basically, for those of you who are just joining us, let me give you a little bit of background on myself and on the Be Rare Foundation and a Rare Day. So I am a partner at Rare Global. I run the Rare Creatives division. I'm a creative director, producer, and branding expert. And in the Rare Creatives division, I also manage creative talent, editorial, production talent, which is photographers, makeup artists, hairstylists, as well as consulting for select brands under the Rare Global umbrella. And Rare Global is a management company to top tier YouTube content creators. So that's Michelle Phan, Chloe Morello, Jen Im, small names, No, huge names. And I, along with Ashley Villa, who is the CEO and founder of Rare Global, are the co-founders of the Be Rare Foundation. And the Be Rare Foundation is a nonprofit that raises money explicitly to give away to women entrepreneurs every year. We started in 2018 with the first A Rare Day because we're like, how are we going to honestly raise money that's substantial enough to give away? And we thought that the best way to do it was to host an event. And at that time, things like Create, Cultivate, and Teen Vogue Summit were on the rise. There was like Girl Boss Rally, but they were so big and they were so broad, and they had celebrities. And as amazing as those events are, which I've attended some, it just didn't feel so intimate and personal. And it also was like, some people are intimidated. They can't just go up to a founder and ask them questions. We wanted to do something more intimate, raw, with teachable skills in the business that we know, which is digital media, fashion, beauty, e-com, and all the other things associated with it: branding, creative, content creation for influencers trying to come up, people trying to break in, just an equal mix of fun, fabulous, with amazing gift bag, and also teachable skills. So that was 2018. Since then, we've been able to raise $35K and given $35K away to BIPOC, female-owned minority businesses. We're so proud of that. And we have to say, this year, we had no idea we're going to bring A Rare Day back. And we're like, oh, snap, we're going to go digital, see what happens. And it turned out really well. It happened on Saturday. And one of the most exciting things about digital was that we were able to bring so many different entrepreneurs. They could just zoom in. But with that being said, the difficulty is like maybe sometimes Wi-Fi doesn't work, which is what happened with Anne, who was like one of our marquee speakers. So we're like, there's no way we're not going to record this or do a follow-up live. So this is why we're here. This is what we're going to talk about. And yeah, that's my introduction, Rare Day introduction. And do you want me to give them the professional introduction first or the tea first?
Yeah, you go for it. Go for the professional. We talk about. Vannga and I have been friends for 10 years, which is insane because I'm only 27. So yeah, huge. She knows me so well and saw me and knew me before GLAMNETIC, so she can kind of talk about the whole experience and like how much I've changed in those years. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun little chat. Make sure you guys, if you guys want the tea, share this live with all your friends, tag your friends, share this in your DM groups because it's going to be a really fun conversation.
Okay, so here goes the professional introduction. Okay, Anne McFerran, CEO and founder of GLAMNETIC, was born in Bangkok, Thailand, and immigrated to America when she was 7 years old with her single mother. After graduating from UCLA, she pursued her artistic passion and became a fine artist for several years, when she sold her work worldwide. While she enjoyed the creativity that provided, she felt isolated as an artist. When she saw a gap in the beauty market for magnetic lashes, she sought to develop magnetic lashes that she would personally wear. Within a year, after teaching herself everything from product development to marketing to content creation to photography to editing to video editing to Photoshop, GLAMNETIC was born July 2019. And in one of the toughest years in business and life history, she was able to grow it into a $50 million business. And that is not a fudging of the numbers. That is cold, hard facts. First of all, proud is an understatement. Like, I've seen your growth, and just because I'm so close, like, sometimes just for 1 second, I forget, like, that you're running this huge business now. But yeah, so here's the tea. Me and Anne met in LA 10 years ago at a white elephant party. And I still have the gift that I stole from somebody that she gave somebody. You guys don't know what white elephant is. In my house, there's like a little jewelry box. And then we started talking, and I realized she went to UCLA. She was Asian. And I was like, let's be friends. And she was an artist, is still an artist, but back then she was selling art full time. So I used to host events at different places, clubs, like bars, to showcase her artwork and sell it. And then, I mean, this kind of leads into my first question: how did GLAMNETIC begin, and what inspired you?
Yeah, but go back to the art thing first, because I don't think that it was such a hustle being an artist.
Oh yeah,
it was like you just had to do whatever you needed to do to sell the paintings. And I was like, okay, let's try to like throw events. Let's like, obviously I was selling online and everything, but also especially when you're selling art pieces that are really expensive, like multiple thousands of dollars, like people want to see it in person. So I'd have to throw events. Vannga helped me set up like some of the events that we did, like it was this place called Pourvu, and like we did like live painting there, like performed over like we performed in front of like over 100 people. It was like crazy, and then we sold a lot of art, and it was also fun because we got to party. But it was multiple events. She's like such a boss babe, knows how to set up all these events up. This was before I like knew how to do anything business related. So I was like, oh my God, thank you so much for like helping. And it was such a hustle and a grind and a completely different lifestyle than I was using. I would paint all day, and then I would go to like events and stuff like that to try to sell art. So it was like different. But yeah.
It was definitely different. And then she was like, hey, so I have this idea for like a lash brand. And I've been researching magnetic lashes, and at that time, like, people were just getting into lash extensions as a norm. Like now, I don't know if everybody gets lash extensions, but for me, like, lash extensions were life-changing because they were permanent and they would last for a while, but then you have to get it again because I wasn't good at using lash strips. So that was not in my realm of possibilities where I could just put lashes on. So Anne's like talking about this new idea. I'm like, okay, I believe you, I support you, and because I was a creative director producer in my loft, I had a photography setup. So Anne's like, to start my business, can I come to your loft and use like your backdrop? I bought a camera. I was like, you know what, do you, girl? Like, come use whatever you want. She's like, do you have any friends who would model for me? I was like, for you, anything, girl. I was like, my girl Kenzie came through, my girl Andrea, and they were professional models, but they're like, girl powered. So
yeah, Vannga had all the hookups to all of like the hottest models, and I was like, okay, perfect. Like
but first of all, I'm like, you can't just learn photography. You don't just learn lighting. But I forget Anne's an artist, so she knew lighting. She knew what she wanted, and I'm literally like, I'm working.
Well, no, in everything. I bought a camera, and I was like, I don't know how the fuck to use this. Yep. I'm gonna search on YouTube how to set up. Like, I just learned what I needed to do to get the proper lighting, and I was like, okay, I remember this exact setup from YouTube. Let me replicate it in person. I also was like trying to save as much money as possible because we were self-funded. I was just like trying to save every single dollar. I didn't want to spend any extra money, so trying to find how to do everything. And Vannga, I think she was like, okay, let me just have her do her like. I think she thought it was cute that I wanted to do all this.
No, I did. I thought it was super cute. And I'll tell you when my mind completely changed.
I thought it was serious. Like, she just was like, oh, that's cute. Like, she wants to, like, do a photo shoot at my place. Like,
that artist energy. I'm like, come through. Like, do your thing. And I remember I was in the other room, like, working. And, like, because I used to have people come through the house if they wanted to shoot, if they wanted to do, like, different workshops or whatever. It was, like, kind of like a co-working space a little bit. And I like turn around, and Anna has like this like major setup going on, and I look in the camera, and the photos are like amazing already, unedited. I'm like, okay. And it was when you sent it out to get it like retouched, and you sent it back, where I was like, oh shit, GLAMNETIC's about to pop off, because the content was amazing. And so, I mean, I guess that answers the question of how it began. But you know what? I want you to tell people what inspired you. Like, why lashes? Like, magnetic lashes is not an easy thing to break into. It was a new field, right? So tell the people.
Yeah, I think it had to do with me just being obsessed with lashes my entire life. Also, just I was much more obsessed with beauty, and I think like when it came to like photography, I felt like I could do a much better job to like doing more like face shots. So I was thinking things like what's the easiest way for me to create content. I wanted to wear, which were super glam magnetic lashes, and magnetic were kind of becoming like a huge wave. Okay, magnetic lashes were becoming this huge like fad for a while, and there was like billboards in LA about it, and I was like, okay, like I should probably pay attention to this. Like, what's this trend? I tried it on personally, didn't work me, and it didn't work for a lot of people. I saw so many complaints about the product, and so many people were complaining and trying to get refunds. And that's when I was like, okay, like this product is promising, but it needs to be improved upon. And so that's sort of when I went into like deep R&D on it, and like for a year,
right,
like searched to the ends of the earth.
Did you go to? I feel like you went to BeautyCon. I feel like you went to like trade shows and you met people and you looked into different lash brands.
Not necessarily. Like I went to the places where I actually found like the most innovation was on the internet, because I couldn't like attend enough. I couldn't attend enough places personally. Like I couldn't do it fast enough. So the internet was like really a quick place where I could do my research. So that's sort of why I just basically I found manufacturing nationally, and I was able to successfully like come upon the manufacturer that I came upon for GLAMNETIC, because a lot of the samples I got were super wonky. There was like magnets falling off, like most were not successful. I got over 300 samples, and I only had 2 successful for the samples I went with for the manufacturer. So yeah, it was a long way coming, but it was the first like super glam like lashes on the market. There was like at the time they were all thin and plasticky looking and just didn't have like the volume that you're seeing here. Like it's not a normal thing for magnetic lashes. But then like these are the only types of lashes I wear. So I was like, I can't wear these types. That's why I was like really passionate about figuring this out.
No, I know. Now you are the expert on magnetic lashes, and that just goes to show like how valuable it is to be the consumer you want to speak to. Because here's the thing, like content is queen, and it has been for a long time. And the thing about content is there's different levels, right? Like some people maintain that you have to, and sometimes we digress in our opinion, where I'm like, to get the best content, you need to spend the money, right? You need to like get the team, do the production, like, because I work in editorial production. So that was my idea. And that I still think that in many ways, but when it came to your business, you had a very specific strategy for how you created content. You were scrappy. Did you have a strategy about like, this is the type of content I'm going to produce. This is how I'm going to use this content. This is how I'm going to use the advertising. Like, can you tell us like how content took you off the ground?
Yeah, I think before I even started GLAMNETIC, I was a content creator in ways. Right. Like I had my own Instagram personally that I would post on, but when I started the brand, I was much more video heavy and like tutorials about the product, because really with this type of product, you really have to show the case, and the only way is really through video, like showing the magnetic eyeliner, and then like the transformative actual like use case, innovative use case, like when the lashes would magnetize to the light. So I really needed to show that, and
you had to use content. You had to use content.
So I was just trying to think of clever ways to like demonstrate that and put that point across as quickly as possible. So at first my content was much longer, and then it became more condensed, and then one posted on ads was like this 15-second like story of me just like snapping lashes on, like talking for like 2 seconds and then like snapping the lashes on, and that's like the one video for us that went viral. And so I was like kept pushing into like, what's the easiest, fastest way to communicate the product. Attention spans are really short, you know. And so, and I the model because I just couldn't afford to pay other people. And also like,
I mean, you also look like a model, so that helps. That helps.
And like perpetuated because people liked seeing me in ads, and they were like, what was the past? So I really just had to keep being, you know, that just sort of helped me like get more confident in like, okay, I have to really be the face of this thing because it just makes sense.
I love that. I'm going to just recap really quick because I think it's super valuable to understand when it comes to selling anything, so yourself, your own brand, your product. What is your special use case? What is a blank white space that you fulfill? You're like, I wanted to communicate as quickly as possible. It was easy to put on. It was magnetic. And that's what your content became. So when it comes to content, what is your unique value prop? Like, what are you telling me that's brand new and different? So when people are creating content, I myself am not a content creator, but I buy content and I know what content works too. Not to your extent, but if it's not unique, it's not going to play. You know, some of our most favorite content creators, especially our clients who have had longevity in careers in YouTube, they're just them. That's what people come for. That's what people come to them to see. So I think that that's amazing. And you also like hit the jackpot because it was all your stuff was brand new. So that's awesome. Has that strategy changed? Like, what's your content making like now? Like, are you still the model of most things? I see you in commercials going to space. We had a commercial play during a rare day. The model was McFerran. Like, I love it. So
yeah, it definitely still is. Pretty much like I've not as intense as I used to be, where I was like recording every single day. So because now we have a lot more like other creators like for us, realizing the best for us is still the content with my face in it. So I still have to be the face of it. You know, like I'm still gonna have to record. Like even yesterday,
it's still working.
Yeah, he's like, you have to be in all the ads. Like your face converts the best out of all the other like. So I was like, okay, like the entire.
You know what? You could just moonlight as like the model at some point. Just like taper out, take less responsibility, just be the model. No, but that's amazing.
Once you're the face of a brand, you kind of have to keep being the face of the brand. You know what I mean? Like you can't just like I'm like 100% operational too. So it's like
it's a lot.
And big face.
You know, and that like leads me to my next question. So away from the content for just a second, I mean, content is still reigns. You're like, how do you say, okay, two-part question. How do you stay ahead of all the trends, the social media content trends? You guys are always on point with like your meme content, your TikTok content. Do you have like a team of like researchers, little TikTok experts? Like, where do we find them? I know every brand is looking for them, and like, you tell me how you work with all that.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to have an amazing social team, and I think what's really helpful is that we hired most of our social teams straight from college. Like they came in as interns. Those are the people like they're 20 years old. They're like straight from college, and they know all of this, the slang. They know like the pop culture. Like they just are super aware of everything because that's just the world that they grew up in. And so we're much more tapped in and have that advantage from the start. We always keep the top interns, and then those girls become basically they move up and they become like the leaders in the social team. Like there's various departments. Like we have like there's like one girl per platform that manages the platform. We have like a social media head. Megan's on here. Oh. So they just make sure to always research the current trends. They're watching everything all the time, and it's a lot to keep up with. Yeah. Also on Instagram and TikTok, and like just seeing what the trends are and sending it to my team. But that's the only way that you can really stay ahead is to like really be in it.
Yeah. Like, how big is your team? So one per platform. Like, what did you say the social team's like? 5 is 10 people more?
That's a good question. I don't even know anymore. I think it's like 8 now. It's like 8.
Yeah. No, I mean that makes so much sense because your content feels like that. It feels very personal. So it feels like your friend is making the content. I mean, my friend is making the content. But anybody who follows you feels that way. And I know you recently won like a Brandy Award for content, right? Congratulations, well deserved.
I was like, oh, we've never won anything, but this is cool. It's the Brandy's Awards.
That's it. That goes to show you guys are doing it all right. Okay, damn, this conversation is going by quick. I gotta squeeze my questions in. What is the best advice that you have for new entrepreneurs that are just starting out, or someone who's trying to break into the beauty industry? Do you have any tips?
I think the best one is honestly, if you're trying to get into the beauty industry, to intern. Like you're never start off being like going into a high-paying position, like top leadership position in a social team or whatever in a beauty brand. Obviously, we have zero experience. So start from the bottom, like internship, right? Like, even if you have credit, like just do it. Even if you are like out of college, still do an internship. You're going to move up really quickly. They see value in you, because that's basically promoted. We promote from within. So, had all of our interns come in, and then we were like, okay, picking the best, keeping the best, and then we promoted those people as they like gained more skills, and like they learned everything on the job. Like the job was the opportunity for them to learn, because there's still like beauty being taught in college, because it's such a fast moving industry that you need to kind of be on trend at all times. And so that means actually like being on the floor of a beauty brand who has like all of the intel of like what's happening with other brands. And then like also, you know, there's like so much internal chatter about things that are happening in other brands as well. We're like keeping tabs on everything. Like now we have interns that just do research on market.
Yep.
Like literally doing like a full on deck presentation on like a launch that like a certain brand did, and like doing a deep dive on that. Like that's just not something that you'll get in college, unless you're going to like FITM or something like that. But
yeah,
that's hard.
Yeah, it's interesting because we both went to UCLA, right? And like UCLA is notorious for teaching you like soft skills and like intellectual and all the stuff that makes you smart.
Yeah.
But on the ground, the things that you learn in the field, like the vocational skills, like I have to say, like, you know, our programs could be better, and there was no social media, digital stuff, you know? So all that stuff, it's like, you know, that's also the purpose of a rare day. Like when it comes to digital, if you don't have a digital game plan, you are so far behind. It's like not getting mail, you know? Everybody needs something digital in their business game plan. It might be your own personal brand. You might just log on to Clubhouse and network like once a week. But if you really want to grow in whatever position that you're in, self-starting or even from within a company and like contributing to your team, there's so much work that you could do outside of your job, and so much that you can gain with resources that are digital. And honestly, like you guys are the top of the food chain of like converting that into content and into strategies that make sales, and building an amazing community that really, I mean, reflects all the hard work you put in. So, you know, you have the best insight there. And what do you think about imposter syndrome? Because I had a question about this. Actually, many questions on many panels, especially with women having imposter syndrome. Asian women, young, very, very successful Asian women like yourself. Yeah, can you speak to that a little bit? And how do you feel these days? And you know.
Yeah, I think I had like whole theme in my life, guys, that was all about like fake it till you make it. Like even when, you know, I had just graduated from UCLA. I was like pre-med. I did all medical, like science, 4 years, like all these hardcore science classes, 4 years. And then just decided to hop over artist, professional artist. Selling like, you know, $1,000 worth of paintings, right?
That's the third time.
And personally, I would have to obviously sell it, sell myself, right? And that and with like convincing them that there's putting like investing in me in the future of who I was as an artist. And it took a lot of convincing, and I didn't even believe in myself. I was like, I'm not even sure if I'm going to stay with this, which I ultimately didn't. But you know, I had to pretend like I was, and I had to be like, I'm going to fake it till I make it in this industry. You know, it was like a 4-year like uphill battle to be like, oh yeah, I'm selling these thousands of dollars of paintings. Believe me, I'm going to be, you know, this, like, believe in my talent. So I really had to sell myself in the beginning and like fake it. Well, you know, you have to kind of do that from the beginning. And I did that same thing when I moved to GLAMNETIC. I was like, I'm the founder and CEO of this brand that I just started. And literally just me, and people think it's a big brand, but it's actually just me. I'm customer service, I'm actually social media, I'm actually retention marketing, actually all these positions. But you kind of just have to say that you are, because eventually
eventually
put 100% of your effort into something, it will grow. You know, if you put 100% focus, without a shred of a doubt, that will grow. You know, even if it grows a little bit, it's still going to grow. But you need to believe in yourself from the beginning, not have that sense of like, I'm not good enough. You have to kind of have delusional confidence, you know.
Wait, I think it's like a good amount of like delusional overconfidence, a little bit of magical thinking will take you all the way. And I think that like it doesn't come easily to everyone, and sometimes you, like you said, you fake it. But eventually, if you picture yourself as that person and you continue to show up every day in those shoes are going to be the shoes that you're going to wear, because there's no other shoes. You lost your old shoes. So it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know, minus like obviously a few things in business and in luck. And you obviously got a good team around you. You found good business partners. You had an amazing product. But honestly, if you didn't do all that work, I would say even before you started GLAMNETIC, knowing that the hustle was the main, like the hustle was part of everything. There was no like, I don't think at any point where you're like, I'm starting GLAMNETIC, it's going to be a hit. You're just like, I'm just moving from one hustle to another freaking hard hustle. And you're like, this hard hustle actually I have to put like even more money in. So I think like really normalizing the fact that you got to put in the work, the results will come. It's not, people are like, how do I become like you, start an amazing $1 million business? It's like, well, what's your idea? And are you willing to put in countless hours without reward, potentially to have this amazing business? And then once you get the business, it becomes harder to do the business. It never ends. I think last year or 2 years ago, we had Tony Ko, and I interviewed Tony Ko for a Rare Day, and she was the founder of NYX Cosmetics, which she then sold to L'Oreal for $500 million and became one of the richest self-made women, Asian self-made women in the beauty industry. Such an amazing story. Started all on her own, did it all on her own, and she was just like, people are like, what's your advice for entrepreneurs? When does it get easier? She's like, if you're going into entrepreneurship thinking it's going to get easier, don't be an entrepreneur, because the more success you have, the harder it becomes. And it takes a certain type of person, you know? I think that you've given interviews talking about how like nobody else could do this because you know that only you could be this obsessed about your business and your industry. And I think that's really amazing.
That's the key word, obsession. That's the key word, because if you're not 100% obsessed, like you're gonna find an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
This is to know that there's been a shift in your brain and that you're going in the right direction. Find excuses to do things that you need to do, which is like your business. Like I found excuses in my life of like, how do I spend more time on GLAMNETIC? That was the opposite of like the way that I used to think about things. Like, because the way that I used to think about art was like, let me find it to like not do art today, because I was just like, I hated being inside painting. But with GLAMNETIC, it was a completely different mindset. I was like, let me find excuses on how I can spend like my entire waking hours working on GLAMNETIC only. Like that was when that mental shift occurred, and I noticed it, and that's when I was like everything just went whoop, and I was like, this is it. Like this is my purpose. Like this is what I'm meant to do. And then I think that's why I became like the one thing that I was super successful at. Like I just wasn't successful at other things, but this one thing is all it took. Again, like in life, you only really need one thing that you need to be successful at, and you're gonna feel amazing and accomplished. And this is what my life just like obsessed. and I love that. It's crazy.
Okay, I'm gonna try to take some questions from the audience. I think one question is a more practical question. How do you find the team that you want to hire and work with? Are you currently hiring? Like, are you guys looking to build out?
Yeah, we're always looking to hire. We're always looking for interns to come in. And again, like we find interns that are super talented, like hire them. Like that's kind of how we think. On the social media side, there's always room for us to grow. And what's next for us? We're focusing on, just really doubling down, innovating on the lash space, because we're, I think we're basically the biggest brand in this space, and we have the largest selection of magnetic lashes. Nevertheless, like normal, like just lashes in general, we have the biggest selection, and we will have like
oh my god, I just saw one question that made me laugh. Will you guys make magnetic eyebrows?
Oh my god, I don't know.
Honestly, if I could just
tell me that would, if you could tell me how that would work,
you'll make it. I'm like, could you just magnetic like face makeup? Like I'm done.
Yeah. So I mean, for us, it's just focusing right now on the lashes. New category press on growing that category as well.
Amazing. Well, let's see. We're already over. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our community today? Thank you so much, by the way, for logging back on. Like, we had to have this conversation. We've recorded it here, and we're recording it on Zoom as well. So we'll then post it to our YouTube so you guys can rewatch this. And don't mind all the technical difficulties of my phone flying everywhere, but you know, we're digital now, so this is what we deal with. It's just all part of the digital world.
I guess if you guys have so many questions about just the entrepreneurship experience, it is wild. Like,
yeah. What else can you share about the entrepreneurship experience? Like, what is it like to have this idea and like walk into a room to get investment? You guys didn't get public investment, you guys were privately funded?
Investment. And I think that's the part that people get hung up on, is like, I need investors. Like, how do I raise money? Like, no, like you don't, especially if you're starting a consumer goods brand where you're just selling products, you really only need enough money
to continue to
buy the product, you know, to get the website up. Outside of that, like content, all of that stuff, like if you're a content creator, then obviously you have the upper hand, but not that you're gonna have to pay other people to do it. And that's where like money, it becomes way more expensive because content is expensive. But besides that, you need a lot of money. You don't need millions of dollars for sure.
And what did you say you started with? Can you share?
I mean, it kind of like scaled up. Our first inventory buy was like 10K, and then it was like, and then we put in 100K, and I think that we like just stopped, and then it was like rollover.
Oh yeah, honestly, I want to say this. Like when you started, it was like week 1, right? You're like, I launched. We sold $1,000 the first day. I was like, cool. Second day, you guys were selling $1,000 like per 2 hours. By the end of that week, it was like, by the end of that month, it was 7 figures. I like had never seen anything like it. I was just like, as you know, like that's when you knew, you know what I mean? We're just like, holy shit. We're just like,
I think like you're in a do or die like mindset of like adrenaline pumping like all the time. Like
still, right?
How do I keep this up? Like, how do I keep this going? Like without like, because I just kept thinking at any moment that this could be taken away from me and it would just be over. Like that thought came into my mind quite frequently. And so because of that thought, I freaked out more. Like it fed me and it drove me to work harder because I was not working hard enough. Like I need to not sleep and like work more, because I need to prevent myself from like crashing or like the brand from crashing, because it was all me at that point. And if I took one day off, like it was going to be a disaster. And that's how I felt. I felt like I hired people and then I was like, okay, I can breathe.
Yeah.
I can breathe.
No, but I remember you were like working so much and I was like, should you not be enjoying the fruits of your labor? There's a lot of fruits. And you're like, when can I sleep? I was like, you should probably sleep. And you're like, I can't go on vacation. I'm like, but you should, you know? And I think that you kept telling me, you're like, there's no time, you know? So it's so cool to see now that you scale business.
Yeah, you know, like what I mentioned before, your mindset when you actually become obsessed with something, it's like, how do I spend more time on this? Like my the last thing I wanted to do on earth was take a vacation, because I thought that was so boring. I thought that was so boring. I thought what I was doing was like the best thing in the world. I was like, I am so doing this.
I think you did go on vacation, and you're like, hey, you're like texting me. I was like, how's your vacation? It's like a laptop in front of like the tropics or wherever you happen to be. You're like, yeah, I rested a little bit and now back to work on vacation.
Bored. I just get bored, so I just go back to work.
Okay, so I'm gonna end with one question, which I feel like is super dope. Also, somebody asked, like, what inspired you to create?
Oh,
I had to do it one last time for the people. Oh my god. What inspired you to create the Glam Fam? Because that's your beauty community on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
That's like, how many people are in there now?
It's amazing. Oh my god, we have like almost 30,000 members now.
Okay, I just want to say also, like, your business is doing so big, incredible breakthrough numbers, right? And just like you said, you don't need $1 million. You don't need 1 million followers. GLAMNETIC has a respectable amount of followers on both your Facebook group and your Instagram. It's not like a mil. And yet those people have created this success and value. Like, can you talk a little bit about like what inspired you to start the Glam Fam? Did you know it was going to be so exponentially valuable to your business? Like these people were going to continue to be like the return customers?
I didn't. I was just like, I need to start because I felt like on Instagram it wasn't intimate enough. There was a place where like communicate with each other because it was just about us, like a one-way channel. It felt like, and
Yeah.
then same with like TikTok, like Twitter, but on Facebook and especially Facebook groups, I've been in other Facebook groups where like people like with each other, ask questions and they provide value and it becomes much more activity. And so that's why I was like, oh, okay, like I think I should create for us and see what happens. And like I didn't expect. I mean, we had like almost 10,000 people like join or 5,000 people join like from the beginning, and that they were like really the core like founding members, right? That kind of created the culture for Glam Fam.
So dope. And that was organic, right? So are they
Yeah.
still like, are they still the founding members? Are they still around?
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
On here, she's the OG. She.
Oh, so do you guys do like reunions? Like, do you guys like do like Glam Fam activities? Like what,
Like virtual because everyone's everywhere. So we'll do virtual.
Yeah.
We'll do like focus groups where we just talk about product.
That's so amazing.
Want to do that more often, but yeah, like we try to do like events, do a ton of giveaways, like weekly giveaways.
Yeah.
A lot of feedback. Ask them like questions about different products, but I just think it was such a powerful it was just a powerful tool. Like I had just like starting that off. I'm so happy that we created it because now we have a place where we can talk to them directly, and it's like it's an actual relationship that we're building. It feels awesome because that's really why we do what we do. It's like we're creating a space where people can feel beautiful because they can finally lashes and they can talk about their passions around the brand and the product and even other things outside of that and be vulnerable, have this safe space where they can talk about things that they don't talk about with other people because they feel like safe. And that's like priceless, and beautiful. And that's why we like push this group so much to like grow because I think it's just amazing. All brands should do it.
I mean that's a super hot take right there. Like create your community, like be consistent, make it personal, give people opportunity to advocate for you. Like no one's going to advocate for you like your founding members who create, like you said, created the culture of the room even. And honestly, like obviously we're not Glamnetic, but we went digital and we had our little chat room during a rare day, and it was the first time we were able to do that because usually a rare day has been live. So like when you're listening to it live, like cool, but you can't talk to each other. And then there's all these people, so we have an after party and it's like mingling in person, but the chat room was popping off at a rare day, and it was new for us because it was so cool to see our community like talking to each other, networking. I heard that like, they went offline and like talked to each other somewhere else. And like, I felt like the older sister. I was like, what are they saying in there? Like, what do they think about it? Like, do they like the broadcast or whatever? And it was just, to me, it was just so, I don't know. It's emotional, right? You're like, they're there to support something that you built with your bare hands, blood, sweat, and tears. So
it becomes
awesome.
its own like it's past me creating. It's like I started it, but it's just like they're creating that space, that culture. Like I started it and they're building on it. And that's something that I like, wow, when things just build past what you created, like when it becomes bigger than you, that's where true fulfillment comes from.
Someone just said that they found a rare day through Glamnetic. That's amazing. See, a little cross promotion of the groups.
Yeah. So super appreciative of everyone here. Who's in the Glam here? Actually, I want to know. I know there's a lot. I mean, it seems to be a lot of girls in the Glam Fam here. So cute, man.
I know.
Yeah, I love you.
Well, I feel like we have reached the end of our very first conversation on the Be Rare Foundation IG Live. This was so fun. I'm glad that we got to do this. I'm pretty sure our conversation would have been similarly raw and real during a rare day, except for we wouldn't have activity in the background and like things like this. My glam from a rare day was extra, so.
No, you look amazing.
Try to get it together today because I knew you were going to show up like this.
So fun. Yeah, I just forget that, like, oh my God, we've known each other for 10 years. That's so much. Like,
10 years. Honestly, you guys, like, if you also want to take away something, like, support your friends, like, believe in each other, like, you know, not to say like Anne wouldn't have done success, like been successful anyway, but I just remember I was just like, this is fucking dope, you know? And I'm like, and Anne supported me and everything that I've done, and, you know, has spoken at a Rare Day a few times, and just like the amount of camaraderie when it comes to women who, one, support each other emotionally, two, like, create a sisterhood around each other, which is what have you done with your brand as well, other than your own life. And then honestly, invest in each other business wise. Like, if your friend is doing something, buy the lashes, buy her art, buy her social media business plan, like, invest dollar signs and work together. And sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do, but if we don't, then who will, you know? Instead of going to a stranger, go to the people who, you know, who are creating businesses out of their passions, and like start there. And I think that magic will follow. So,
like, that's something about Vannga. She's always about empowering other women around her, them up, and like being the most supportive person in the room. And I'm like, how do you do that? Like,
I'm trying to ride that glamnetic wave, you know?
Yeah. And like literally those first few photos from her studio, like those
still bomb.
Those were the first photos that went on our website. And like, even this one graffiti artist I don't know, in Italy decided,
oh my god, that's right, they graffitied it. Yeah,
he graffitied one of the photos that I took, which is so crazy because those photos went viral because it was like on ads, it was like everywhere.
Oh my god.
You know, without her providing me that space to create, like, that wouldn't have happened. Maybe the photos would have been janky, I don't know, but
honestly, I knew they wouldn't have been janky. They were just exceptional and amazing. You should do a throwback. You should do a throwback. Be like, Glamnetic week 1, because I remember all the creative from that week. I was like, damn, this looks fire, you know?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Anne. I love you. Happy. Oh my god, I caught it this time. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna hold it. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I miss you. I know you're in Miami right now. I know everything's opening back up and people are getting vaccinated and traveling. So hopefully we can see each other soon.
Yes. She's going to come to Miami soon, so I'm excited.
Soon.
Thanks for and save the live so we can have it.
I will save it. I'll figure out how to save it. Man, you know. Okay. Love you. I'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.